DC-135 missions was to be the aircraft assigned to a theater commander, so that he could fly around his VIPs and so forth and visit all the areas under his command. So this particular one was shared by the Pacific commanders of the Air Force and the Navy back out in Hawaii. Okay, on the right, we have the B-52G. The B-52 has been around for about 55 years, the H. So that's the version that's going to keep flying. So this aircraft has been a very successful bomber, and it's been, we will have been able to see 3 generations in the same family flying this aircraft for a living. Okay, well, this is toward the end. A drone that came out in the 60s, I think, and it was supposed to fly supersonic, like 3 times the speed of sound, over denied territory like Russia or China, and use sensors to collect intelligence. They wanted to fighter bomber used extensively in Vietnam by the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marine Corps, and these aircraft were painted to. I see they got 5 stars on the side of the aircraft there, and each of them they were to commemorate Steve Ritchie, who's a retired brigadier general who was a Vietnam combat ace. So he shot down 5 MiGs, and they made him famous. 50th anniversary of the Air Force, they painted those up in his honor. So on the right, there are a number of aircraft we've already talked about, but you can see them in their stored version, where they're available for being reactivated or sailed to friendly foreign countries. Tweets were back there. These are S3s. Bunch of S3s up here. I'll talk a little bit about, if you look at the aircraft on the left, that's a KC-135 tanker. It's an Air Force tanker based on the 707 airframe. If you look at the tail end, you see a long boom type thing. It looks like it has little wings on it. That boom was how they delivered the fuel to aircraft that would come up behind it. And basically an operator would lie in the back of the airplane and fly that boom, so that you could successfully, without a whole lot of maneuvering, the tanking aircraft could move up and receive fuel up to 1,000 gallons per minute. Back on your right there, towards, if you look backwards just a little bit, those are T-34 Mentors, a Navy trainer that we did not see on Sudbury Road. These are F-4s here, potential candidates for the drone program. Attack AH-1 versions here, right in front. That looks like some sort of Huey body. So we're going to pull over here just for a moment. We usually do this at this spot here, where we have a lovely view of the Catalina Mountains and a view of a lot of airplanes in front of you. So if anybody wants to kind of move over to the left side and take a picture while the bus isn't moving, this is your chance to do so. Procurement issues and won't be available until for a few more years, 2 or 3 more years, and so they got to keep these things flying in the meantime. If you look off to your right, there's a interesting building. Another S-16, another H-53, C-130 behind that helicopter, and then you take the spray light off, clean them up, take some engines out of canisters, stick the engines in, and give it to some pilot and say, "Here, go test it." You know, they can take a cone off the back of an airplane, you know, the tail cone, or a section of the fuselage, or a piece of wing, or KC-135s, because when we get past this first one here, we can see at least one boom on the ground there. Now, I'm going to try to just stick with the planes on the right, and then swing back around and make a U-turn at the ones on the other side, and get over there. So most of these are more examples of planes that we saw on the flyable side. These are coming up, T-38s. Followed by some F-4s, which are being used for parts, not for drones. Sorry, the part could be used for the drones, I guess. F4s. Oh yeah, crane. If you look up ahead, those large aircraft are, of course, the B-1s that are here making their parts available. And Wayne, do you know what that crane is there for?
That's the chopper crane.
The chopper crane. Oh no, it's going to chop them up?
That's what it looks like.
Oh no! Oh, if you see that helicopter there, an SH-60 version, look way beyond it. Those are F-14s just behind a helicopter. They're waiting to be chopped up. Shredded is the official term. Oh yeah, look at all those kind of parts of there.
Yeah, they've been stripping these like crazy.
Yeah, see all the little piles of metal and stuff there? I haven't seen that before. That's just since last week.
And then all of a sudden that crane shows up.
Yeah, and the crane shows up. Wow.
That doesn't look good.
That could be interesting. Well, how are they going to get the parts off up there to destroy the plane? Anyway, maybe we can get an answer on that. There's a few early F-18 models sliding backward back there. Some more F-4s. Another F-18. A row of them. And then we expect the chopping up to be happening, but maybe they're next. Now, here's a few A3s. Remember, I don't think I told you they called it the whale because it was such a large aircraft that flew off the carrier. It was the largest one. So there's some of those here being available. Now this is a big field of C5s. It's going to eventually be parked here. They left all this space here because it's such a huge airplane. But that one that we saw over by the wash rack will be towed over here and parked in this vicinity. Now, beyond the C5s, off in the distance, there are B-52s which are being chopped up for the Star Trek. I think we can see them better in a minute here when we get past these helicopters. Because what they do is they started out using a big, huge guillotine that weighed about, had like a 13,000-pound sharp edge on it, and they would chop off both wings and then chop the fuselage into 3 pieces and leave them there on the ground so that the Soviet satellites could fly overhead and verify that they were being destroyed. Now they've since decided to be more surgical about it because I guess they figured there's some parts they could use for the H that they were destroyed if it had to be done. Okay, these are more variations. This, I want to say, is another KC-135. I think there's a boom somewhere near it. Maybe I'm wrong. There are some, the KC-135s and the EC-135 and so forth, are all giving up their parts, along with these old airliners. These old airliners were bought a number of years ago by the Air Force to, again, to salvage their parts. They got a real good deal on them, and they've saved, I don't know, 10 or 20 times more than they spent on them, just supplying parts to the 707 derivative aircraft that the Air Force is flying. See, it looks kind of sad when you see an airplane that's got its, rear end completely chopped off, but it looks like they chopped out a middle section of this one.
What's the story with the flag? What's the story on that?
The flag on the tail?
Yeah.
Don't know. Let me see if I can tell what that is. United States of America is the one next to it. I do not know, sir.
Okay.
See, these 11s are taking apart right now. Get ready to
Oh, they are?
shut down.
Okay, wait. It's UFO rotor on the top. And these are still in the fleet, the newer version. There's some S3s in the background. Coming up this front row of helicopters here is the MH-53 version that we call Pavlo, that was used by Air Force Special Ops to insert people in denied areas and then supply them and bring them back out again. There's some F-16 bodies on wood. helicopters, more AH-1 series, attack series. F-16s. Okay, coming up on the right here, these kind of four funny-looking aircraft are AB-8B Harriers. We haven't seen those before on the, we didn't see one of those. The Marine Corps flies these are vertical takeoff, vertical and short takeoff and landing aircraft, being replaced by the Osprey for the Marine Corps. So the interesting thing about the mission here is that it's a cost-saving operation they have out here. You know, it costs a certain amount to operate the facility, but it pays for itself like 10 times over with costs that are avoided. There are all these airplanes that fly. The airplanes that fly again don't have to be reprocured, or they can be sold to other nations. Same with the parts. You don't have to start up a new production line. You can get the parts that are out here and refurbish them and use them. And you can also sell them to other friendly nations. So it's a pretty, as government operations go, it's fairly efficient. How much did it cost to build a B-52, and how much is it saving with the scrap metal?
How much did it end up being the scrap metal? Is it like scale and ballpark? No?
Sir, I have no idea. No. It would be a lot less. But of course, a lot of them were bought many years ago. So, but yeah, scrap metal probably.